This is the second page of your classwork for day 1. So I want you to try to do this on your own. So go ahead and pause it. I'll give you a hint for 15 through 17. You're going to need to know this formula. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Memorize it, love it, learn it, and you will succeed. So do 15 through 17, and then for this last part, you're going to need the area of a circle formula. Area is equal to pi r squared. Also memorize this one, learn it, love it, and you will do great. Go ahead and pause and start working on these now. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video and tried them by yourself. So we are trying to find the circumference for 15, 16, and 17. Number 15 says that the diameter is equal to 13 inches. Now, in our circumference formula, there is no such thing as d, so we need to use our knowledge of knowing that the radius is half of the diameter. So I'm going to do 13 divided by 2 to find my radius, because my radius is half of my diameter, and it's 6.5. So off to my side of my paper, I'm going to write that radius is equal to 6.5. Now I can use my circumference formula, which is circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Trying to put it where you can see that. So I want to solve for c, so I don't have anything there right now, and then I know that it's equal to 2 pi times r, and I just showed you how to find r, which is 6.5. Now I'm going to get my calculator, and this is where you guys might be a little confused. So sometimes you can just leave the pi in the answer. In fact, I feel like most times you would just do 6.5 times 2. So I'll show you. You do 6.5 times 2, and you'd get 13. So you'd get that the circumference is equal to 13 pi. That is a totally acceptable answer. The other thing that you could have done, so that's one, so I'm actually going to circle that, square it, box it, whatever. That's one answer. Now to get my other answer, you can multiply by pi. So see how it says 2 times pi, so I do 2 times pi, and I'm going to press enter, and then I can do times the 6.5 that I wanted, and that's going to be 40.8 about. But I probably wouldn't do that. Do this, leave pi as pi, okay? Don't simplify it down. This is still a right answer, but this is more of what you'll see like in the math world. We don't usually simplify pi. Okay, the next one, number 16, should be pretty easy too. And 17, man, you guys are lucky. They're not that bad, right? So circumference is equal to 2 pi r. We're given that our radius is 8. So we're just going to have circumference is equal to 2 pi times 8. And like I said, we don't want to multiply pi through. So I hope you guys understand that, like, I wrote them all together, but what's happening is multiplication in between each thing. So 2 and 8, I can multiply together, because remember, like 5 times 4 is the same thing as 4 times 5. So it doesn't matter that I do 2 times 8 and leave the pi, because order does not matter with multiplication. Okay, so 2 times 8 you can do in your head is 16, and then we just leave the pi. So number 16 is just 16 pi. Number 17, circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Hopefully these are going really fast for you. So I just plug in my r, which is 3, and I get 2 times 3, which is 6. So my circumference is equal to 6 pi. Easy, easy. Now, area is going to be a little trickier, but it's okay. We will get through them together. So number 18 isn't that bad, because we're given the radius, and the radius is in our circle formula. So area is equal to pi r squared, so I know that my area is going to be equal to pi times 12 squared. Notice that it's just my radius that's squared. I don't put my pi in the parentheses, just the radius gets squared. That's why I wrote the 12 in parentheses squared. Then you can get out your calculator, and just like with our circumference, when I said you don't want to really simplify pi, you don't need to simplify pi for area either. It's usually written with pi in it. So I'm just going to get area is equal to, and on my calculator I just type in 12 squared. Hopefully you know that's 144 though. And then my area is going to be 144 pi. Right there. If you did 144 times pi and you got like an actual answer instead, 452 point whatever, that's still the right answer, but keep the pi in there. We like pi. Pi spelled P-I and pi spelled P-I-E. Okay, I'm done laughing at my own jokes. So, number 19 says that the diameter is equal to 7 centimeters. So, remember that our radius is half of our diameter. So half of 7 is 3.5. You can type that into your calculator if you need to. Radius is equal to 3.5. Now that I know my radius, I can use this lovely formula that you should all have memorized by now. Area is equal to pi r squared. And I am going to do area is equal to pi 3.5, because that's my radius squared. So I get my calculator, I do 3.5 squared is 12.25. So area is equal to 12.25 pi, because I leave my pi in my answer. Okay, number 20. Oh, number 20 is easy because it's given to you as r already. Okay, let's do the area formula. Is area is equal to 2 pi r. So I know that my 2 pi is going to be right there, and r is 9. What is 9 times 2? It's 18 pi. Hopefully you knew that. And there you go. That's number 20. Number 21. We're cruising through these. Okay, number 21 and number 23 are going to be a little harder, and this is why. Instead of giving you the diameter or the radius like we did in the previous problems, you're given circumference. Don't let that scare you. Basically, what you need to do is you need to use this circumference formula and solve for r. Once you find r, you can plug it into the area formula. So let's walk through this together. So remember, circumference is equal to 2 pi r, and I know that c is equal to 16 pi. So I'm going to substitute 16 pi in for my c is equal to 2 pi times r. To get r by itself, I divide both sides by 2 pi. My pi's are going to cancel out. Just something to note, a radius will never have pi in it. So just know it all cancels out. And it'll be a whole number, nothing with pi in it, like area and circumference. Anyway, so I get r is equal to 16 divided by 2 is 8. R is equal to 8. Now that I know that r is equal to 8, I can use my area of a circle formula. And I get that the area is equal to pi r squared, and we found that r is equal to 8. So I'm going to have area is equal to pi times 8 squared. So area is going to be equal to, you can type it in your calculator if you need to, 8 squared. But 8 squared is 64 pi. That's 21. Okay, not too bad, right? Just to review, we were given circumference, so we had to use our circumference equation formula to find the radius. So I said 16 pi is equal to 2 pi r. I solved for r, which was 8, and then once I knew my radius, I could plug it into the area formula and solve for the area of a circle. Okay, 22, diameter is equal to 5 miles. So none of our formulas use diameter, so we need to find the radius. And the radius is half of our diameter. So if you need to in your calculator, you can do 5 divided by 2, because that takes half of it. and that's going to give you 2.5. So our radius is equal to 2.5. Now we plug it into this lovely formula. Area is equal to pi r squared. So area is going to be equal to pi 2.5 squared. I think I know what 2.5 squared is, but I don't want to mess up, so I'm going to type it into my calculator. Yep. So area is equal to 6.25 pi. And circle that. Box it in. Okay, last one is like 21, or I guess last one of finding the ones that aren't shaded in. So 23, circumference is equal to 24 pi. So remember, I'm going to look at my circumference formula and solve for radius so that I can use that radius to find the area of my circle. So I'm given that the circumference is equal to 24 pi. So I'm going to substitute 24 pi in for C, and I'm going to 24 pi is equal to 2 pi r. Now to get r by itself, I divide both sides by 2 pi. My pi's cancel out right there. This cancels out over here, and I'm left with r is equal to 24 divided by 2, which 24 divided by 2 is 12. Now that I know my radius, I'm going to use it to plug into my area formula so I can find the area of this circle. So I get area is equal to pi 12 squared, and 12 squared is 144. So my answer is area is equal to 144 pi. Okay, I'm guessing if you had trouble on this worksheet, or if you didn't have trouble, that these three were the hardest problems, and they should have been, right? They're a little trickier. So it asks you to find the area of the shaded region. I'm going to show you how to do this first one, and then I'll have you pause it and try to figure out 25 and 26. But basically what we need to do is find the area of the square minus the area of the circle. Right? Because if I had a whole square that was shaded in, and I cut out, like I took a cookie cutter or something, and I cut out this circle, and I was only left with these corners that are shaded in, I would just need to subtract my area of the circle to figure out what those were. So first, find the area of the square. Area of a square is length times width. So in this case, the area of our square is 6 times 6, which is 36. Now we need to find the area of our circle. So you should have this memorized by now. The area of a circle is A is equal to pi r squared. So, okay, this is a trickier part. So we have our center right here. Notice from here to here is 6 feet. So this line across here is equal to this line down here, which is also 6 feet. So our diameter is 6 feet, so that means that our radius right here is 3 feet. So now I can do area is equal to pi r squared, which is equal to pi times 3 squared, because I just told you how to find the radius of 3, and I'm going to get 9 pi. Now, I have a 36 and a 9 pi, so I need to do the area of the square and subtract my area of this circle. We're going to leave the answer like that. The reason that we can't do 36 minus 9 is because these two things are being multiplied together and they aren't like terms. It'd be like if we had a 36 minus 9x, we couldn't do 36 minus 9 and then just leave our x hanging, right? So same thing, why we just leave our pi there. So it's 36 minus 9 pi. Now I want you to pause the video and I want you to try to do 25 and 26 by yourself. Ready, set, go. Okay. Hopefully you did 25 and 26 by now. Let's talk about how to do 25. In this case, we're given a big circle and a little circle. So instead of, here we did the area of the square minus the area of the circle, we're going to do the area of the big circle minus the area of the little circle. Because remember, it's like I take a cookie cutter and I like cut out that center piece, so I'm only left with what's shaded. So that's why I subtract. So we're given the radius of the big circle as 10, and we are given the area of the small circle as 4. So let's find the area of the big circle first. What's the area of a circle? Pi r squared. So my big, I'm going to write big, is going to be pi times 10 squared. 10 squared, you should all know. If not, type it into your calculator, but it's 100 pi. And my small is pi r squared, where r is 4. And this is going to equal 16 pi. Okay, now we have 100 pi minus 16 pi. Unlike this one where we couldn't simplify it any further, we can subtract these two things because they both have a pi, so they're like terms. So 100 minus 16 is 84. So the area of our shaded region up here is 84 pi. Okay, last one. We're going to do the area of the rectangle, subtract the area of the circle. Let's do the area of the rectangle first. So the area of the rectangle is length times width. So length times width, in this case, that's going to be equal to 5 times 2, which is equal to 10. So we have 10. Now we need to find the area of our circle. Because right now, we basically, like if this circle is filled in, that's what we just found, was that area. But we don't want that circle. Our circle came out. We took that cookie cutter and we took it out. So we need to subtract the area of the circle, so we only get the area of the shaded region. You might be wondering, but what is our radius? I'm going to show you how to find it. So we have the center of the circle. Notice from here to here is equal to from here to here. So this is 2, this diameter is 2, which means that this radius is 1. Watch that again if you need to. Make sure you understand that. I'm like totally sure that you're going to have problems like this on your test. So area of a circle is equal to pi r squared, and our area for this one is 1 squared, which is just equal to 1, right? 1 times 1 is 1, and so we're just left with pi. So here's the area of our circle that we found. Here's the area of our rectangle that we found. Remember, we're going to do our rectangle area minus our circle area. So there's our rectangle, this is our circle area. So it's going to be 10 minus pi, and that's our answer. We don't simplify it because they're not like terms. You just leave it as 10 minus pi. I hope this all makes sense. I'm sure you did awesome. If you understand this, you will be able to do your homework really well. In fact, you probably have time in class right now to do it, so do that now. That's all. Thanks.